set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
AKAPAD, it's the Film Buff Podcast. We're going through movies I watched on my way to London. If you're familiar with that, I tagged those episodes in the titles and descriptions. You can learn a little bit more about the trip and my rush to the flight and staying up for almost like 3 straight days. I talk about it a little bit more in some of the other episodes. I wrap up The Long Walk. I just watched Life of Chuck. I watched The Long Walk. And I'm kind of like feeling good. I'm in like a really good rhythm on this flight. I'm wide awake. So I put on The Matrix. And I put on The Matrix because, you know, when you go through the movies that are available, they had like franchise blockbusters. And they had like a run of like everything. Marvel movies, Batman movies, everything. But for The Matrix, they only had 2. They had The Matrix and they had Matrix Resurections. And I just said to myself, I said, "What? Okay, wait a minute. Let's just do these 2 movies. Like, let's just pair them together. No Reloaded, no Revolutions. Even though you guys know how I feel about the Matrix trilogy. It's one of the greatest science fiction trilogies we will ever have. Everything about the Matrix, which I re-experienced on this flight. I don't know, AKA Powders. Matrix is a effing perfect movie. It's more impressive. It's almost like more impressive than Jaws, because people like to argue how complex Jaws was to shoot. It's not The Matrix, man. I mean, The Matrix. I mean, as soon as the Village Roadshow, the logos hit, like, we're in The Matrix as soon as we get frame 1 of any reel in that projection. It's a complex movie. And for a complex movie to be this effing tight and work well, and every time you watch it, it's just new. It's new to you. It reestablished my feelings for Matrix, and it was already in very high regard. So I get to the Cypher betrayal scene. If you guys are not familiar, this is where they're in the walls. And they capture Morpheus. The team gets disassembled. And we learn that Cypher is working with Agent Smith. And essentially Neo is on his own in the scene. It's a pivotal scene. And I watched all of it. But after the scene, I said, look, let's put on Resurrections. Because as I'm watching The Matrix, I'm thinking about Resurrections, and it came out in 2021, right? COVID movie drop. I remember it dropping on HBO Max, watching it and just being like, say it with me, guys. You ever go through that when you're watching a movie? I didn't like the logic. I believe I would have to go back and listen to it, but I know I had a big position against the action set pieces, that they weren't quite Matrix, and they could have made them the Matrix just off of visually and the technology now, right? Way easier to get some of this stuff done. But technology advances. There's always complications for special effects. So I put on Resurrections, and I put myself through like this mind fuck. Sorry for cursing. Where watching The Matrix and then watching Resurrections back to back and leaving everything I know out of the other 2. And seeing that it's still the idea that everything we were told in that first movie is a lie. Like, the Resurrections part of that hits the home. In Reloaded, we're told the prophecy, it's all control, it's all a lie. They further unravel that in Revolutions. I will say, the Matrix trilogy is one of the greatest trilogies of all time. There's an absolute through line. I love everything that they're doing with it. Like, now, I mean. And I turned the corner. I became a suitable audience member for Matrix Resurrections, where I was able to watch it with a fresh set of eyes and going into it with questions because I had not remembered the 2021 movie. So I'm sitting down and I'm watching The Matrix. I'm saying, like, all right, like, how do they explain, like, the video game thing, and Doogie Howser's in it, and how does he, because he's a psychiatrist, and then what are the threads in the movie that kind of start to unravel everything within the Matrix. And then, Trinity has a family, and he kind of knows her from gooning on her in the coffee house. So we have, like, all of these elements, and we get, like, the Morpheus element. And Morpheus, I love Morpheus in Resurrections. So I begin to turn, and I start to see Resurrections for what it is. It's one of the greatest swerves we have in all of storytelling, because it leans into everything we like about the trilogy, even about the first one, where like the world we live in is not we feel that the world is different. And Neo now is a character that he's stuck in this, like, Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole to where we experience, we relive elements from the other Matrix movies in Resurrections, in a way resurrecting those movies in this movie. And we see them from different points of views and different perspectives, and we see slightly different versions of them. And it invites such a higher level of analysis that I'm not prepared to do now, because here's the thing. Even though I caught it on the flight in, I need to memorize more about Matrix Resurrections to speak on it properly. And I feel like, a couple years ago, when I dropped that episode, I may have been wrong. And I think I was. But I just wanted to just approach you guys with this experience and approach you guys with this homework, if you will. Try this. Try watching The Matrix and watching The Matrix Resurrections back to back. Leave out the other ones. And if you haven't seen the other ones in a while, if you haven't seen the Animatrix in a while, even better. I think you'll come around. That's what she said. Love you guys. Rock 'em.
Okay, that's a wrap.